Let me give you a little more level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're getting a good here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Is this the room that Coach Calhoun went off on about Ryan Gomes? Nice. Um, Great game, Big East game. Very physical, very tough. A ton of respect for Connecticut. I think they're the best team in the country. Um, Offensively, defensively, on the backboards, they can play every type of game. Thought our guys competed. Executed our game plan. It was just unfortunately it was a game plan, and we knew it going in. And we don't really have the depth to play like that. Junk the game up, press, for 40 minutes. If we did, we do have it from a conditioning standpoint, but just the bodies. We've lost a few players. So foul trouble really hurt us this game. We got to get better. We got to get better from it. Got to get better on the backboards. Got to get better with our discipline, and we have to because this league it doesn't stop. We have a Villanova team that's going to be really hungry, waiting for us on Sunday in Philadelphia.
Kim, as far as being, messy like that with that many fouls, was it just difficult? Difficult to play without fouling in a game like that?
It was a physical game. And you're talking Messi and the fouls,
Yeah.
the foul calls. Players are looking for consistency. We're searching. Not we anymore. They are searching for consistency in the game, and they try to be even.
some old friends here. It's great to see Bill Koch. It's great to see an old friend back there. Yeah, hey, listen, I think we were prepared for this type of game. Just huge credit to to Providence and Kim and his staff. Defensively they've been great all year, and the way that they guard really plays into the Big East Conference. They're so physical. First half I think they really got into us. Both on the glass. So that was a complete embarrassment to start the game. The offensive rebounds and the first media timeout. Well, that was a complete joke by us and embarrassing. It should never happen ever. But we knew it was going to be a real tough, hard-fought game. Obviously, we gutted it out. It's not going to go in our highlight reel in terms of the prettiest games that we'll play. But it was a real gutty win. Alex gutting out the ankle. Obviously, Donovan didn't. Credit Adoro. The guy's a heck of a player, and just dealt with a lot of adversity, but figure out a way to get to 9-1 at the halfway point, and get to 19-2, which is pretty good.
Around 10 minutes into the first half, you mentioned obviously Alex's injury. I was wondering if you could speak to the nature of what happened at all. I mean, he obviously looked fine because he came back into the game and played decent well.
Yeah, I mean his movement. If you watch the game, and if you watch the game, and you guys, if you guys weren't, looking at watching. Looking on social media, he was compromised. He couldn't really move anywhere near. He's probably at 70%. He'll get X-rays in the morning. It was pretty swollen, and but he just he's the toughest guy, man, and a real gamer, and just his presence helped us with floor spacing and problem solving.
What kind of maturity did you see out of Steph? Step up
Yeah, Steph's. I think he coming out party for him from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint. Carter is one of the best. He's one of the best guards in the country, and he's earning every bit of his potential first round status that he's gaining. But the job that he did on him defensively up until he got in foul trouble and got vetted a little bit. I mean, some veteran stuff by Carter there at some different points, but Steph saved us tonight. Steph saved us, particularly in the second half when our quality of shots, I don't know how many great looks at three we missed in the second half. I think first half, their defense really got into us. Second half, I thought we missed some shots that we would normally make. But Steph Castle, he looked like, I'm not sure if there's a freshman in the country, both ends of the court. On the glass, that's played as well as he's played in this game tonight, in a man's game.
When he gets into the lane where it should be really crowded, the whole court looked crowded tonight, he seems to create space in those situations. I don't know if his strength, his savvy, both ways.
Yeah, just he got off to a good start in the game. He got deep paint for those. Short range, little touch shots, kind of floats, semi layups, which really got him going. Plus his first half defense on Carter was tremendous. So he just was feeling great. I felt like he was involved in everything. And obviously T New, brings us that element of being able to get downhill and create in the paint. But you could see the element that Steph, could bring to this team. When we're clicking on all cylinders. He brings that missing element of that physical driver and finisher.
Were you wrestling in your mind when to bring Donovan back in with the 4 fouls there?
Yeah, it was hard. I almost put him back in the first half with the, when it wasn't going great. I contemplated putting him back in the first half, but just the way it was going for him, he was going to pick up his third. It was just one of those nights for him. When Adoro's a tough matchup. I mean, him catching and facing and playing off the dribble like a guard, and it's not the greatest of matchups for Donovan. You suffered over when to put him back in, suffered over when to put Steph back in. Maybe should have got Steph out for that defensive possession there before he fouled out, but We didn't play the perfect game. I didn't coach the perfect game. Shit, no one's fucking perfect.
Dan, Steph getting kind of the Andre treatment defensively from teams. How does he react to that? Obviously, in the second half, he had 2 big threes. But how does he feel? I know it seemed like it frustrated Andre a little bit when he first started.
Yeah, I don't. I think Andres was, Andre was more of a deep thinker and overthinker, where Steph just kind of he just keeps playing, and maybe just like kind of thinks a little bit less out there. So I bet you if you asked him, he may not even really understand how far off they're playing, but. He's 3 for 5. I think he was 1 for 1 from 3 in the last game. He's 3 for 5 in the last 2 games. The threes he's taking. I mean, the mechanics look great. They look really good. He keeps having 2 for 4 type of nights, and they'll start doing it less.
How do you feel the game was called, and how did it maybe dictate what you guys were able to do?
Yeah. Listen. The Big East, man. I mean, like. There's nothing like this. I mean, I think me and Kim looked at each other at one point in the second half and kind of smiled, and I just kind of, mouthed to him, the effing Big East, man. I mean, this league is unlike any other. These are wars. I mean, to think that to think that you got to play, 48 hours or whatever. Man, I suck in math. I didn't always go to great schools. So I don't know when my next game is, but there's some recovery from these games. These are steel cage matches, and I think this is, there's obviously a lot of fouls, and based on how physical the game was, they probably could have called another 50 fouls. But I just thinking, to start these games, I think the best thing to do is to call fouls so that people stop fouling, rather than like allowing the first 8 to 10 minutes to be just like nonstop fouling but no calls, and then we get to the second half and then it became obviously a free throw parade. So, I mean, listen, we had 3 guys tonight that are elite guys. I mean, Final Four quality refs, but. The Big East has this reputation for these physical, brutal games, and it's going to get everyone ready for the NCAA tournament. I can promise you that, because this shit is brutal, man.
What is it about this team that you can win different ways?
Yeah, I think that's the mark of who we are as a program now. I mean, we could win, we could win the beauty contest, when the game is up and down and high scoring, and we could win, in the mud. We can win in the mud too. Today was one of those games where we had to win in the mud, and and just kind of like outlast them. But huge credit to what Kim and their staff. It's hard not to be impressed, with how he has those guys playing, and. Obviously lesser coaches losing a player of a Bryce Hopkins, that the season would fall to pieces. So, obviously huge credit to their players, to their staff, and what they've instilled.
Beyond Steph's performance, anything else that you felt helped keep you guys in the game across the first half of playing well and carrying out this stretch?
Belief. I thought the defense was really good until. With Adoro, obviously, at that point, we kind of felt like Donovan could get him under control in some of those one-on-ones, but it just never happened. And with like a lead of 6, 7, 8, 9, you really don't want to start running and trapping and giving up threes, so you're just kind of thinking that Donovan's going to eventually get him under control. Just the best thing I would say about the game for us was that we found a way just to grind out a win, versus a really tough team, with probably a guy in Carter who just doesn't get enough credit nationally. He's appointment television to watch play, man. That dude is just all over the court, and it's like a Vin Diesel shit,
A bit of a follow-up, not having Donovan and Sampson available, not ideal, but of that lineup that had Kerrigan playing at the 5, what did you like about that lineup, and how likely are we to see that again a bit more?
I didn't like it. I only like it sometimes, and they made themselves unplayable. You know what I mean? Sampson, he had some chances, just to grab a defensive rebound. And, games like this are tough because, he's physically, these aren't his type of games. But he put himself in a position where, where we went in another direction. And Donovan just, we're not who we are without him being a game-changing player. And he has a great responsibility to show up that way for us every single night. That's the responsibility, that greatness that's required of greatness. So he's got a chance to redeem himself in the next one. But it's not sustainable for us to get that play from the 5 spot today. We expect to outplay the other team's centers, and I think we'll be able to get back on track that way.
Dan, what are the biggest things Steph has learned or improved upon over the last 4 or 5 weeks since he's?
I just think the thing about this kid, man, is that he's not reading mock drafts. He's not huddling up with his agent, NIL or whatever that whole thing is. With that, he's got just parents at home that if your coaches tell you to screen. If your coaches tell you to play the 5, play the 5, play the 4. For a kid of his stature and pedigree coming in, and the position that he's in terms of the prospect and everything, he just do whatever we ask him to do. And as he's learned more about how to play college basketball, get used to the physicality, understand the terminology, understand the different nuances of defense, offense. It's like he's still a learning and emerging player, but he's not acting like a entitled 5-star recruit that thinks the world revolves around him. He wants to please UConn, and I think that's beautiful.
Dan, can you touch a little bit more on Alex? I mean, for him to be at 70%, as you said,
Yeah.
still give you 34 minutes, move to the middle, wherever you need to, and, look like he's 100% out there, even though, he wasn't, getting up and down the floor as quickly as
Yeah, I looked at his ankle, and I sometimes you can't tell which ankle, but you could just see how swollen it was, and the tape job. Everything changed when Caravan came in here for us, right? That guy's had, to this point, not too many players. The first year and a half plus of their career have won as much as him, and have had the start to their career at this place. He's a special player, and just the will there to stay in that game and to just to limp around and just to help us win the game. But he looks like the boy next door, but the guy is an incredible competitor and a warrior.
In your gut, did you think he would come back? I mean, he's had that kind of edge to him.
Yeah, I mean, he came back with the 10 stitches at Xavier, and the Frankenstein stitches that he got from the folks there, and he just got back out there. He told me when he walked off, he said, it hurts a lot. I'm going to need to get taped pretty significantly, but I should be back, by the next media. Now, he didn't come back for the next media, but then I heard the crowd cheering, and that felt good because I knew at least somebody was back.
What happened to the deck there? First one in a while.
I'm thinking about what Bob said. I'm not going to talk about what I want to talk. What did my brother? I'm not going to say how I truly feel, Bob. Listen, I was out of the coaching block. I'm in my estimation, Donovan's second foul that put him on the bench to start the game. That shouldn't have put him on the bench. That was a pretty weak second foul, and for him to pick up, that foul on that, I just thought. Because it was such a shaky foul call, I just felt like I deserved to be allowed to blow off a little steam there on that. And then the referee that I wasn't engaged with just in my estimation, shouldn't have been the one to call the technical from really far away. I mean, that's how I felt about that situation. Now, I will say, when I saw those three officials on the game, I felt great because I knew I had three Final Four national championship game caliber officials. So two things could be true. We good? Thank you. Cody.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, brother.